What's up, crew? My name is Angela Gargano, four-time American Ninja Warrior and the creator of the Strong Feels Good program. I'm really excited to go through today everything that you need to know about deadlifts. Now, this might seem like a pretty simple movement, but it's actually the slightest movement with it that it makes it so complex. And hopefully that makes sense with what I just said there. But again, it looks really simple, but it's a lot more complex because if you're not doing it the right way, you're not going to feel it in the right areas, and you could wind up feeling it in your back, which is somewhere you don't want to feel it. So I want to go through exactly what you need to do, the form and everything for your deadlift, and also ways that you can improve and things that you can do with them. Now, I'm just showing the classic deadlift. No, there are different types of deadlift. There's single leg deadlift, there's sumo deadlifts. That will be a topic for a different time. You're just going to talk real classic right now, using a barbell if you have. I'm using I don't even know what this is, but I'm using a barbell. You can use a broom, dumbbells, or a kettlebell. I have all the different variations here of things you can use in order to do your deadlift. So first main thing to talk about with your deadlift is that a lot of times with a lot of movements that we're doing, we're really quad dominant. I found that for myself. I was always squatting and running, and I was always getting really strong right here. And we kind of neglect the back of their legs, which is where the deadlift is really going to help target. It's that hamstring area right here in that back. We need to make sure that we're keeping our legs nice and even so that we can have a nice balanced body and prevent injury, okay? So I'm gonna go through the deadlift first with this stick broom thing. You can totally do it with the broom, and I totally would do that. And I'm also gonna show it to you with the dumbbells and the kettlebells after. But first things first, I'm just gonna place that on the ground for now. If you had a barbell, you'd have weights on, it'd be a little bit higher. Let's chat about the feet position. So your feet, they're not going to be shoulder width apart because it's a little bit wider. They're actually going to be hip width apart. So hip width apart here with your feet. And your toes are parallel. Okay, so they're facing forward here when you're doing this. First thing you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to pick up whatever you're using, whether that be your kettlebell, your dumbbell. So make sure that when you do this that you are squatting down to grab that and you're not just like leaning over to grab that. So I like to look in front of me, lean down, grab whatever you are using and utilizing. First thing you want to think about when you're down here too is when you're grabbing onto this bar or whatever you're using, you want to lock out those lats and stand right up. Now, that's not the deadlift, but I wanted to make sure that when you do grab it, you're grabbing it properly. Now, let's go over the deadlift piece here. So we're just going to go over the form, and then I'm going to go over some tips and tricks on how to make sure that you're doing this properly. So our feet are hip width apart. You're going to what I like to call is you're going to booty pop your butt back. Booty pop. Okay, what is that going to do? That is actually going to push your hips back, okay, so that we can not be bending our legs. So I like to call it a booty pop. You take your hips and you booty pop them back. Take your hands, you're going to turn them in like you're driving a car to lock out the lats. What that's going to do is it's going to put the seatbelt on for your back to protect your low back. So seatbelts on, booty pop is back. Your gaze is forward, okay, so you don't want your head super high. You don't want it super low. If your head's super high later on, it's going to cause an arch in the back. The idea here is to keep this back completely neutral as you're doing this movement here, okay? So let's go over this one more time. So we're hip width apart with our feet. Our bar, whatever you have is in your hand. You're going to lock those lats out. Seatbelt is on. You're squeezing onto it. Your chin is neutral, okay? You're going to slide down. So your butt's back. You're going to slide down the front of your legs. I literally keep this whatever you're using, I actually allow it to touch the entire time, so it does really help. You're going to slide down, and you're only going to get a decent bend when you're a little bit past your knees. So see that here? So my head is neutral, and I'm feeling this here in the back of my leg. So do that real quick and see if you feel that. Then when you come up on the way up, you're going to keep this nice and close to your body, stand straight up. Okay, so we do that one more time. Let's review it. Again, very important. And if you're watching this, you should do it with me. I'm the kind of person, I'm a visual learner, and I learn more by actually doing it. If someone's just saying this, I'm going to forget this later. So legs hip width apart. Okay, hands, you're locking out those lats. Okay, gaze is nice and neutral. Again, not up here. That tends to be what we like to do. Kicking the booty back, sliding down until right to the shin, feeling it in the back of the leg, standing on up. We'll do it one more time. Slide, 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 slide. Stand it on up. Okay, so again, that seems pretty simple, but what you tend to do, and what a lot of people tend to do, is they do this. And And it turns into like a squat type of thing. Okay, that's why you really want to be aware of how your hips are. You also want to be aware of how your back is, because the improper thing that happens all the time with deadlifts, I'm just going to show you without the stick right now, is that you go down like this and see that arch in your back. You want to avoid that. Or you roll down like this and then your back is really rounded. Okay, we need to keep that neutral spine the entire time to prevent injury and so that you do feel it in the right places. Now, again, I just over dramatized it, but that's really what actually happens. So a few things to think about with this hinging motion, okay? Now without the stick and without any weight. Take your feet, put them hip width apart, and I want you to karate chop your hips. Take your hands, like literally, karate chop, okay? Kick your butt back, keep your head neutral. Lean forward until you're smushing that hand. You should feel it in the back of your leg and stand back up. Now, notice how just by doing that, it pushed your hips back so that you actually did the movement properly and you didn't squat. So do it again. Karate chop, height, and come down. And come back up. You might notice in a few of my workouts, when I do work out, even on my own, I do that before I go, because I know myself included, I do it wrong. So I want you to make sure you take your hands, karate chop, lean it forward, kick your butt back, and then come back up. It's a great little cue to help you making sure that you're keeping your hips properly. Next thing people do is they take their stick or their broom and they actually put it behind their back. And this is going to test out and make sure that you're actually keeping your back neutral the entire time. So you'll kick your hips back, okay? Gaze is forward, lean down, and you'll make sure that this stick stays neutral on your back the entire time. So what happens if you were doing it wrong is you kick your head back and the stick would have a gap in it. You see that gap right there? You probably can't see because of my hair. Come back up. Or maybe you're down here and then the stick is not completely flat on your body, or not complete on your head and straight down to your butt. Okay, you want to make sure that it's staying there the entire time. So again, we got that karate chop and we've got this stick drill that are great drills to helping you do your deadlift. And I want you to think about something here. Just like if you watch my push-up tutorial, put your ego a freaking side. You don't need to do super heavy weights. You want to make sure you're feeling it in on the right areas. You can literally do these deadlifts with just this stick with no weight on it and feel it the next day, but at least you're going to feel it in the right areas. Whereas if you try and do something too heavy, you're going to wind up not feeling it exactly where you want to feel it. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is helpful for you with your deadlift. Again, this is just the regular deadlift. Again, there's all different types of deadlifts. We're just going over the normal ones so that you understand it. So again, I did it with this stick. Let's also real quick do it with the dumbbells, because the same idea applies here. Feet hip width apart, okay? Chin neutral, booty pop back, okay? Sliding those weights down to that shin. You're feeling the back of your leg. You're standing on up. Sliding on down, standing on up. Now, one thing to also make sure, especially if you're just using some light dumbbells, you might want to be over dramatic and go back a little bit. So what your body might want to do is do this. Okay, make sure when you're standing up straight. It's a little bit faster than on the way down. So maybe a 4 count on the way down, 2, 3, 4, and then a 1, 2 on the way up. But you're standing straight up, okay? You're not leaning super back, because you want to make sure that you're avoiding, getting that core up. That's making the core not tight, and that you're avoiding getting anything into that lower back. So one more time here, sliding it down, bring it back up, okay? Last one to show here is with the kettlebell. And when I was using those dumbbells too, just like I was with the stick, you were still locking out those lats, okay? You got to put that seatbelt on and engage those lats. I had a pull-up program for years and taught hundreds of women's pull-ups. And one of the things they were surprised about is that I made them deadlift, because deadlifts does engage your lats. You're using your upper body when you're deadlifting. It's not just your lower body. Okay, so very important that we know how to work it. So same thing here with that kettlebell. You grab the kettlebell, slide down, lock out the lats here. Maybe your hands are a little bit closer. That's okay. Stand on up. And you do the same thing. Kick your booty back, slide back up. Now you can do the deadlifts here with your kettlebell, or what some people like to do is take the kettlebell, they put it right at their chest like this, they kick their booty back. This actually allows them to do the hinge motion properly, and it's also a great drill for kettlebell swings, which we'll be doing later this week. All right, so kettlebell down. So I hope this is a good review for you. Now what happens, a few people said, well, what if I'm do the first few right and I'm feeling really good, and then as I get going, I start, is I start not feeling it in the right areas. Well, then you gotta stop, shake it out, and readjust, okay? Don't keep doing it if you're not feeling it in the right areas. A lot of times people think that doing things faster is better. It's not. Better is better, okay? So making sure that you're doing the form correctly is going to be a game changer with everything that you're doing. So hopefully that was helpful for you with these deadlifts. Also, don't forget, if you click down below, I have a wait list for my Summer Shred series. Make sure you get on that. We're gonna be doing a 12-week program, which is gonna be awesome. We're actually gonna be coaching you through the entire time. So what you want to do is fill out that form, and on that form it's going to go through in detail, asking you questions on what things you specifically need help with, so we can continue to help you. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that deadlift. I hope you're going to be a deadlift master now. Feel free to send me some posts of you doing your deadlifts and see if we're doing them correctly. And take a second, and maybe you have to watch this video a few times. That's okay. All right, this took me a while to be able to do this deadlift properly, but really understanding what the hell you're doing is a really, I'm gonna say game changer again, but it's a game changer in your training. So I'll see you guys all later.